Well, when it comes to leading, do that which is reasonable and fits. Not that's hasty and, gosh, it'd be good if this works. But rather, this fits. This has come up. Does it seem reasonable? Yes. Ah, well, that's different. How reasonable? Well, I mean, it's a good opportunity. It's something I know. It's, there'll be signs that just say, this is in keeping with what God may well have. Isn't that wonderful, this opportunity? Wow, I've been hoping for this, and here it is. Thank you, Lord. As opposed to, wow, didn't think of this. This is brilliant. I could do this, couldn't I? God is patient, kind, totally organized. Everything fits. He doesn't have you taking horrendous risks. Yes, you might be able to balance walking along the top of this wall, but if you fall off, it's disastrous, isn't it? Don't do it, love. Be reasonable. The number of people that, gone off to darkest Africa, I mean, thrown themselves into the ministry because, this is just what they wanted. And, they've managed to scout around here, there and everywhere, and this has turned up. And it doesn't quite fit, but hopefully it will, and we'll wing that, and God will come to the rescue on this. And, yeah, that's unusual, isn't it? But, it's an heroic act. No. You're not asked to be the hero. You're not asked to take wild chances. You could take wild chances every day of the week, and your life will just be chaos. Don't do that, love. Take care. Do that which is right. That which is feasible, reliable, not just remotely looks possible, will work if it's a miracle. Yeah? Thank you, Dad. Avoid things where the cost on someone else who's dear to you especially, and could be very high. Don't do things that might endanger yourself or other people. There's no need. God does not require you to live a life of danger and recklessness. He's a God of mastery, utter control, complete knowledge. I don't mean to be so cautious you don't do the obvious. But be reasonable. What's fairly normal? What's fairly within your grasp? Migrating, emigrating. Well, goodness, I could pick the most awful country in the world, couldn't I? I've been called to, Sidi Barani, whatever it is, I'm not sure if there isn't a place called Sidi Barani. I do apologise if there is. What I'm saying is that, okay, it was not too unreasonable to pick an English-speaking country. That's going to make life a lot easier. Do I want a country that's got a reasonable climate, or do I want, from my point of view, coming from England, Canada, which is a lot colder in much of it? Do Do I want a country that seems more dangerous, which I felt the United States was? No. Do I want Australia that seemed... Well, I'm afraid to an Englishman, seems a bit rough. No, I don't. How about New Zealand? Yeah, I suppose so. Yes, I mean... Yeah, I've got a good picture of New Zealand, by which I mean, I don't mean I've got a realistic picture of New Zealand when I was living in England, but I've got a nice picture of it. Yeah, that sounds right. Is it? Let's check it out. What were they like when I went to the, consulate in London? I think it's called consulate, migration centre of theirs. Oh, they were nice. They were nice people, yeah. Were they welcoming? Yes. Yes, they told me how to do it and what I needed to do. And, they recognised it would be a bit of a rigmarole because to get the points, I got such a variety of jobs to try and evidence them. My goodness, that could be a headache. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. We'll take the next step, one step at a time, not... We leap right in, I sold the house before I filled in the form. I mean, there's no need to do that. Just quietly see if God is going to open the doors or not. Ah, right, gotcha. I thought, I'm 40 odd and... I don't think I'm going to pass on medical. I got poor eyesight, varicose veins, and I have had back trouble. But we'll see. I'll go along. And this nice doctor chap, he did the medical and chatted away, and yes, that's fine. I'll fill it in. I thought, my goodness, thank you, Lord. And when it came to confirming all my jobs in the past, do you know I even made mistakes on when I was where? They still confirmed it. Well, they probably didn't have records. They thought, he's obviously a teacher, he was here, he must have done so and so. I mean, not many, but one or two, they actually confirmed, well, at least the wrong dates. I had been there, there's no question of that, Well, because, it was very hard for me to work out when I was where. And I found I got this masses of points, partly because the immigration people included something that I didn't dream they would count as relevant experience. I'm an economist, I'm an academic. I run a little market business and selling in hospitals. They counted that as relevant experience to my degree. Well, in an amazing way, that is true, because I found out the practicality of the market. But I was a bit sort of amazed anyway. I just felt, my goodness, God is opening doors. We had a lodger. She was from New Zealand. Would you believe it? We didn't consciously go out and try and find a New Zealand lodger while we were in England. And she stayed with us, I don't know, long enough, a year or something. And in all that time, we found out more about New Zealand, which was, very reassuring. And a nice lady said that when you go there, you can stay with my stepmom in Beach, I think it was. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. I'm probably not pronouncing it right even now. But, and that was fun. And, it was even better when we came. I contacted a Christian community in Kodesh in Auckland. And they very kindly picked us up at the airport, took us, and we stayed there for 2 weeks before we went down to our lodger's stepmom. God just opened doors everywhere. Asked the head of department in one university at Waikato, do you have anything? He said, no, I'll ask my friend in Auckland. The chap in Auckland found us a job. I mean, both of us. Well, enough to get by, you know. Well, very good. More than enough. And we shared an office, my wife and I. You just think, what a simply wonderful country. And secondly, what a simply wonderful God to stitch this all together for us. So you could say we were reckless enough to find out and try to see if doors were open. But we weren't kicking doors down. We'd watched a program on television about Chernobyl, and we were a bit worried about having so many nuclear power stations next door. You know, within 20 miles or so, we had at least 2, I think it was 3 power stations and a fast breeder reactor being built. And we just thought, this is not the place to bring up a family. They don't always tell you what's wrong unless it can't be hidden, you know. So we started to look round. I mean, quite a conscious effort. It wasn't obviously miraculous, our looking round. We sort of reasoned it out. What would we do? And is the door open? And God opened it. God opened it spectacularly from our perspective. Because you wouldn't see it if you're an unbeliever and you just, you know, just a secular person. You just say, oh, that's a bit of luck on it. Yeah, I suppose so. Oh, well, that's true. Yeah, that probably doesn't happen to everyone, does it? But yeah, good, eh? I mean, but of course, if you are purposed to try and trust in God, in spite of all the uncertainties of life, you're looking for it. You have eyes to see. You have ears to hear. Those who have ears to hear. I don't mean the reckless, you know, jump off this cliff. I don't mean that. I mean just, I wonder if God is calling us to something. Let's check it out, shall we? This is different to, well, I've seen 4 adverts for New Zealand on the telly this morning. I think it's a word. You know, I mean, you're so sensitive to New Zealand because you're thinking about it. Of course you're going to see New Zealand everywhere. Even your lodgers from New Zealand. But you do start to think, I wonder what God might be doing here. Caution, but not such caution that you don't even look, you don't even try, you don't even see if the door is open. I don't mean kick the door down and you're coming at all costs, even if you have to walk there like Gladys Aylward. Oh, it's a wonderful story of faith, but I really didn't want her to do it. I came to the party, there's no question of it, and it was the best thing for her. But she didn't need to. I loved her already. Do you see? She didn't need to, quite honestly. Really, I could convert China yesterday if I wanted to. It's not in my plan. It's not what I'm doing. I can accommodate it, love, and I can fit you in. And I'm not going to have you freeze to death on the railway line. But there's no need, love. You could have stayed at home and been a blessing to those around you. I will, you know, convert the whole of Asia as and when and if I wish. My ways are not your ways, sweetheart. Trust me. But if you do launch recklessly off into the night, I will do all that is necessary. That may not be quite what you expect, love. You may find it's bitterly cold. Yes, I could change it. I could have you back home miraculously, instantly, now. But that's not not apparently what you need. An all-powerful God does not need you to do so and so, except in as far as it's the best thing for you. Now you check out if it's the best thing for you, or if you're having to pray and fast, scream at the doors of heaven and take it by force. You can't take it by force. But if you're that sort of person, you don't need to anyway. I know your heart. I can do all that I need to do exactly where you are. But if you feel you need to do this, that's different. You're welcome. Okay. I don't mean I've got this right. I mean I wonder if that's right. Really? What do you think? Very important what you think, because that's what you will do. And what you need to do to find out if you're right. Bless you. Thank you, Dad. Let me try and give you this example. Look, I'm a man of 75. I have no cash, basically, apart from state pension, by the grace of God, and the UK government still paying most of my pension, New Zealand topping it up to what's normal here, apparently. I live in a lovely house, a lovely place, lovely lake to walk around each day, and you've seen a few pictures of it if you follow my recordings. And I think to myself, I love God, what can I do? Well, this is an outside chance, but it costs me very little, doesn't it? It's cost me nothing in cash, really. It's cost me just a few hours a day. In fact, no, it doesn't even interrupt my day, but I do think about it in the day a great deal, because that's my interest. I mean, YouTube, putting it on here. It's possible I may bless one or two people. Well, that would be good. Better than not. For an old man of 75. If God chooses, He'll change the whole world through it. Wow. But it's not a great risk to me, is it? In fact, on the contrary, if nothing came of it, nothing at all, it's been such a blessing to me doing it. I mean, an incredible blessing. Why? Probably because my purpose is to help and be a blessing. And that lets the love of God just flow through you and transform you, doesn't it? That's why you're sent. You're not sent because He needs you to go there. There being actually where you are, not Outer Mongolia or something, you know? Nothing against Outer Mongolia. I'm sure it's a wonderful place in its way. God's made it. Where was I? I do a greater thing in you than through you. Marshall might be a classic example of this. Achieved nothing externally, but was so blessed in his last years. I maintain decades, but most people would say 75. Let's stick to years. Do you see? Thank you, Dad. I love you to bits.